Cycling has plenty of fans packed onto climbs, screaming encouragement, sometimes dressed as devils or bananas. Fun until it goes too far. Because sometimes the fans don't just watch the race, they ruin it. Tour de France 2018. Alpe d'Huez, the climb of legends. Switchbacks stacked like dominoes, walls of screaming fans so close they can taste the sweat. For Vincenzo Nibali, it was supposed to be a decisive stage, another chance to prove the shark still had teeth. Helicopters above, flares in the crowd, riders fighting through a tunnel of fire and noise, the mountain closing in. And then, chaos. A fan leaned in for the perfect shot, camera swinging from his neck like a pendulum. One strap, one yank, Nibali down.
Nibali is down!
Nibali hit the ground, scrambled back up, finished the stage in agony. Only afterward did the truth emerge. Fractured vertebra. His tour was over. Fans are supposed to push riders to glory. This one pulled a champion into the tarmac. And sometimes they can derail the entire peloton. Tour de France 2021. Stage 1 of the 2021 Tour de France, the biggest race in the world. Riders nervous, twitchy, desperate to avoid disaster on opening day. And then, disaster arrived.
Trying to get on TV with a large sign that says, LA, Grandma and Grandpa. I mean, what a fool.
Not from the peloton, not from the road, but from a fan with a cardboard sign.
Moments of the day, however, came when a spectator's sign took down Tony Martin.
The sign clipped Tony Martin, who clipped the man in front of him, and then it happened. The tour's most infamous domino effect. 200 riders collapsing in waves. The woman disappeared immediately, sparking a manhunt that turned into a global meme. She was eventually caught, fined, and shamed into cycling infamy. Stupidity at the highest level. Tour de France 2016. Mont Ventoux looms at the finish. The giant of Provence. A mountain so brutal it doesn't need fans to create chaos. Yet somehow, the fans always find a way. Chris Froome is in yellow jersey contention, grinding his way up the endless slopes. Behind him, the usual carnival. Shirtless men sprinting with flags. That's normal. That's cycling. But then, one fan dressed in a Columbia shirt and with a flag flapping dangerously near to the rider's wheels got too close. Way too close. Froome snapped and swings out an arm. Call it a punch, call it a shove, Mr. Columbia goes staggering backwards. Froome was later fined 200 Swiss francs for the incident, but who cared? Come 24th July, he was on top of the podium in Paris. You can call it excessive if you want, but there are some fans who deserve everything that comes to them. Tour de France 2024, Stage 14 of the 2024 Tour de France. Tadej Pogačar is in yellow, riding away on a mountain stage, putting time into Jonas Vingegaard, stretching his lead with every pedal stroke. The atmosphere is electric. Fans are roaring. This is cycling at its most dramatic. And then, crisps. A spectator steps forward and hurls a packet of crisps straight into Pogačar's face. Not beer, not water, crisps. Seconds later, the same man waits for Vingegaard and does it again. Another barrage of salted chaos.
The question being why anyone would go to the top of a climb, wait there all day just to do that.
I don't understand. I mean, why is that guy there?
Tour de France 1999. As it always is on this historic climb, the road is packed with fans. Giuseppe Guerini, Italian climber, is seconds from the ride of his life. The road is packed, the fans are roaring, the switchbacks are echoing with history. He's about to win the stage, alone, glorious, untouchable, and then impact. Guerini scrambled, furious, back on the bike. In fairness, the photographer helped him onto his bike. Guerini straightened his bars, shoved the pedals, and somehow, miraculously, still crossed the line first. The moral of the story? Get out of the road and never touch the riders. Giro d'Italia 2014. Montezoncalan, the beast of the Giro. 20% gradients, walls of humanity packed shoulder to shoulder, fans screaming like it's the end of the world. For Francesco Bongiorno, 24 years old, this was the chance of his career. He was climbing with Michael Rogers, trading blows on one of the most challenging roads in cycling. 2 riders, 1 mountain, 1 shot at glory. And then, an idiot. Out of the sea of chaos, a fan in a jersey sprinted up behind Bongiorno and tried to help him by pushing him forward. But Bongiorno lurched forward, smacked into Rogers' wheel, and his momentum evaporated. On Zoncolan, of all places, try stopping on a 20% wall and then restarting. Impossible. But his rhythm? Gone. His chance? Dead. Rogers rode away clean and calm to celebrate his second stage win of the Giro. Bongiorno was left behind, furious, flailing, crossing the line in third with nothing but anger to show for it. He had the right intentions, which is more than can be said for this idiot. Paris-Roubaix 2025. Paris-Roubaix, the hell of the north. Cobbles sharp enough to shake feelings loose, a race where crashes are expected, chaos is guaranteed, and only the toughest survive. Mathieu van der Poel was on his way to history, solo, dominant, about to win his 3rd straight Roubaix. The Ehrenberg dust was behind him, the velodrome glory waiting ahead. Nothing could stop him, except a fan with a bottle. The impact jerked his head violently sideways, the kind of shot that could have broken a nose, a jaw, even ended a career. Somehow, he stayed upright. He kept riding, he even won. But when the dust settled, Van der Poel didn't mince his words.
This was a full bottle and it hit me full in the face, and yeah, we have to take legal action because this is not normal.
Van der Poel managed to stay up, but not everyone gets so lucky. Tour de France 2022. Cobbles, the kind of stage that makes even hardened pros nervous. Narrow lanes, jagged stones, and chaos lurking in every sector. Yves Lampaert, Belgian hardman, had the legs, the skill, and the grit to survive it. He was right there, fighting for position, dreaming of pulling something special out of the rubble. And then, the roadside leaned in. Literally. Flipped and smashed onto the cobbles like a sack of bricks. 1 second he was in contention, the next he was skidding across medieval stones. His tour hopes splintered before they even began. A few centimeters leaning the wrong way can easily bring down a rider, and sometimes the whole peloton. Tour of Flanders Mass Crash 2017. The Tour of Flanders, a war disguised as a bike race. Cobbles sharp enough to rattle feelings loose, climbs so steep they look like practical jokes, and a peloton stretched to breaking point from the first flag. Survival here is never guaranteed. And then, add the fans. In 2017, the chaos didn't come from the roads, it came from the roadside.
Sagan is down! No! Sagan is down!
Riders slammed into each other, bodies and bikes sprawling across the cobbles like a demolition derby in slow motion. The images were grim, champions crawling out of the wreckage covered in dust and blood. This wasn't strategy, this was bad luck. Flanders is supposed to be brutal, but brutal on the riders' terms. When the biggest race of the year turns into chaos because of a fan's mistake, it's not cycling anymore. It's carnage with spectators holding the detonator. Vuelta a España 2017. Stage 12 of the Vuelta a España. The Puerto del Torcal climb. Heat shimmering off the tarmac, riders spread thin after a brutal day. In these moments, riders need to maintain every inch of cadence. Forward movement, burning legs, sweat dripping through the body. Most just keep their eyes locked forward, focused on the top. Maxim Belkov grinding his way up, doing what every pro does best, suffering quietly through gritted teeth. And then, a fan stepped in. Out of nowhere, Belkov was shoved. Not nudged, not tapped, shoved. His bike veered, hit the barriers, and he flipped straight over into a ditch. Belkov got up, shaken, furious, but unhurt. He remounted and rolled to the finish, 15 minutes down, his stage erased. From Guerini flatlined by a photographer's camera, to Yves Lampaert sprawled on cobbles thanks to a spectator leaning too far, to Nibali's tour shattered by a dangling strap. Cycling has shown us something brutal. The most dangerous obstacles aren't always on the road, Sometimes they're standing right next to it.